Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask Coach Marie. I'm Marie O'Neill, founder of Padma Life Coaching, and your host on this series. This is the place where you ask a question, and I give my unique opinion as a life renewal coach, astrologer, and past life regression facilitator. Please know that I am not a therapist, and I will never tell you what you must do. Each week on Fridays, a new video is released with me answering 2 questions from the viewers. In addition to the 2 questions, I also talk about various other life renewal topics. Let's go ahead and get started with the questions for this week. All right, our first question comes from Tiffany, who is in Bellingham, Washington. Tiffany writes, I've been trying to build an exercise routine that I will stick to for years without success. I have great starts, but the motivation soon fizzles out. Any ideas on how I can change this? By the way, I work full-time and have 2 small kids and a husband. That is a very good question, Tiffany. And I commend you for wanting to get back into the routine of exercise. When you have a family, or even when you don't, but in particular when you do, having an exercise routine is a great benefit because it helps you to alleviate stress. It helps you to stay grounded. It helps you to feel good about yourself. It's just really good for you if you can have an exercise routine. So I do commend you for wanting to get back onto the saddle, so to speak. Now, there's some things that you need to do, and one of them is enlist the help of your family. Your family needs to know when you're not going to be available to them. This is because you really do need to dedicate a certain period of time for exercising. And when I say dedicated time, it's not time that can shift very much. I mean, it's one thing if you're not feeling well, or you're sick, or you have a kid who is sick and you need to stay with your child. That's one thing. But it's another to just decide that you're not going to exercise because dinner isn't ready, or there's something else going on that maybe you can postpone. Ideally, you would need to decide how many days a week are you actually able to exercise? And this involves looking at your schedule. What is it that you are doing now for the family, for yourself? You also work full time. So when do you have time to exercise? It may be in the evening, it may be in the morning, it may be at lunch, but whatever time that is, that needs to be put on the calendar. And it is an appointment with yourself. The other thing that you can do is enlist the help of a friend to work out with you if you can. If that's not a possibility, hire a personal trainer. If you hire a personal trainer, you will show up because you're paying that person whether you show up to exercise with them or not. That's another way to motivate you to actually get the exercise done. A lot of times when we start exercising, as you said, we start exercising and then we lose the motivation. We're gung-ho usually the beginning of the year, but then by February, we start slacking off. That's why you have to put fail-safes in place so that you don't slack off. And that's why I say enlist the help of a friend, enlist the help of someone that you can be accountable to. You can always hire a coach who you have to report to on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. You can hire a personal trainer. Work out with your kids and your husband. That is another way to actually stay motivated. Enlist their help by having them work out with you. So these are just a few ideas to hopefully help you get started and keep going with this routine. Please send me a note and let me know how you are doing. Okay, our topic for today is procrastination. Procrastination, it's an energy, really. It's that feeling of inertia, of not wanting to get something done, even if it's something you need to get done. There's various reasons that people procrastinate. It could be that you're just not motivated. Maybe you're doing something that you really don't want to do. Maybe there's a fear of failure or fear of success. When you're dealing with procrastination, you want to get to what's underneath it. What is the reason for the procrastination? Some people procrastinate because they know they will get an energy boost at the last minute to actually accomplish a goal. If you're using procrastination for that, that is not an issue. But if you are procrastinating and it is an issue for you, then I would suggest that you start doing some research to find out what is going on underneath the procrastination, because there would be a reason for it. Be compassionate with yourself. Pay attention to when you're procrastinating. Are there certain times of the day when you procrastinate? Maybe your energy is low. Is there a certain project that you need to work on and you consistently procrastinate on that? You have to ask yourself the why question. Procrastination is not a disease. It is something that can be worked on. And I implore you, or I ask you, please, if you're dealing with procrastination, to figure out why you are procrastinating and come up with a plan to work through it. All right. Our next question comes from Bobby, who is in San Diego. Now, Bobby writes, I'm 25 years old, and one of my goals this year is to get healthy physically. I'm not overweight, but I feel sluggish all the time. I've never exercised a day in my life. Wow, that is really a good question. I love the fact that you want to exercise and you want to get more physically fit. The first thing that I would recommend you do is get a physical. Now, I know that you're only 25 years old and you're healthy, but you want to get a baseline for where you are with your health. That's, to me, priority number one. And because you've never exercised, I would also recommend that you get a trainer if you can for at least a couple of times so that you can learn the proper way to exercise. I've seen this where people are in health clubs and they're picking up dumbbells and they're doing different exercises, but their form is not right. So you want to make sure that you have help with learning what form is actually right for particular exercises. A trainer can help you do this. They can also help you set goals on what it is you want to do. When you say you want to get more physically fit, well, that has to be quantified. It has to be determined what that looks like. Does that mean that you'll be able to run a marathon? What does that look like? And that's where having help determine the outcome that you want would be beneficial. If you do not want to hire a personal trainer, there are other ways to go about this. There are also exercise coaches that you can utilize. You can also start out with YouTube videos. There's exercise videos on YouTube and social media that you can use. I still would start with going to a personal trainer at least for a couple of times to work on your form to make sure that you're doing everything right. And then if you can, set it up so that you go back to that trainer, say every 2 or 3 months for a tune-up session so that they can watch you work out. I hope that helps, and thank you very much for sending the question in. Please email me or comment below to let me know how everything is going on. All right, we have come to the end of the video for today. If you'd like to learn more about me, there's a couple of ways that you can do that. One is checking my website, padmalifecoaching.com. That has information on the services that I offer, including astrology, past life regression, and life coaching. You can always sign up for a session with me through the website. You can also check out my book, and The Lotus Opened, a memoir. In this book, I talk about my life and how I worked through a lot of the trauma and angst that I actually dealt with, in hopes that it will help you to do the same with your life. In addition to that, I have a virtual healing retreat that I am hosting this April 29th and April 30th of 2025. You can learn about this event through the Eventbrite website. You would go to eventbrite.com and look for Padma Life Coaching Presents, and you will see the information there. I have 5 presenters, including myself, giving 1-hour presentations. This is a healing retreat, and it's designed to give you tools that you can use to work on yourself. So I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.